Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's Disney related video. Today I am talking all about transportation at Walt Disney World. So starting this week for the next few months, I'm going to be doing kind of planning type videos, so different informational videos about how you would plan a Walt Disney World vacation. So make sure to subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and I will put it all in a playlist for you. But I am excited to give you guys as much information as possible about booking a Disney World vacation. So today I'm going to talk about the different types of transportation that is available at Walt Disney World and where you can go from, to, everything like that, and just any like bonuses or like positives or negatives of each method of transportation. So without further ado, let's get started. So first, we're going to start with what might be like the most popular or well-known mode of transportation in Walt Disney World, and that is the monorail. So the monorail is in a loop that goes from Magic Kingdom to Magic Kingdom's here, Contemporary, Polynesian, Grand Floridian, and back to Magic Kingdom, and then it also stops at the Ticket and Transportation Center in between the Contemporary and the Polynesian. So a huge benefit of staying at those three resorts is that it is on the monorail, so you can easily walk to the main building of the resort, hop on the monorail, and go to Magic Kingdom. If you have young children or are in an ECV or wheelchair, super easy to just roll onto the monorail. There is a special car that has a ramp, but you don't have to be buckled down or anything like that, which is a huge time save, and you also don't feel guilty about making other people wait while you get on the bus, which I've dealt with my sister. So monorail is fairly quick, like there are lines especially at the end of the day, but you can also get the monorail from the Ticket and Transportation Center to Epcot. So when we stayed at the Polynesian in November 2016, I had never stayed on the monorail loop before, and it was so exciting to be able to walk out of the Polynesian and see the castle across the lagoon. Oh, that was so cool. But just hopping on the monorail, and you can like stop at the other resorts and go to Magic Kingdom, and then we could go to Epcot without having to take a bus. It was perfect. So obviously those parks, the resorts are going to be a bit pricier because of the location, but if it's someplace that you want to stay, it's definitely worth it. So next is boats. So there are boats from Port Orleans, French Quarter, and Riverside to Disney Springs, Saratoga Springs to Disney Springs, from Beach Club, Boardwalk, the Swan, and the Dolphin to Hollywood Studios and Epcot. Those are the friendship boats. I think it might just be no, you can walk and you can walk. I'll get to walking too. Walking counts. And then you can get boats from Wilderness Lodge to Magic Kingdom, and then the Polynesian, Grand Floridian, not the Contemporary because you can walk, but there are many options for boats. They're nice because it's just a little bit different. I remember when we stayed at the Polynesian, we majority of the time took the monorail, but I think on our way back, just Ethan and I, on our way back from Magic Kingdom, like the very last day, we were like, oh, let's take the boat because that's something different, and it is a small boat, but it's just nice, and you get to see the Grand Floridian as you go by, and it's fun just to change it up, and especially if the monorail's down or anything like that. And then when we stayed at Port Orleans Riverside, we took the boat to Disney Springs one time, the day we went there, which was really nice as well. It's fun to take the different modes of transportation, especially when you're constantly used to taking one, just to have something a little bit different. Next is the buses. Oh, the Disney buses. So from your resort, the Walt Disney World resorts, which I have videos all about the different levels of Disney resorts that I'll leave a link to that playlist up there for you. But you can get a bus from your resort to the different parks, the water parks, Disney Springs, everything like that, and then from the parks you can get it to all the different resorts, and I believe to the different parks, like if you want to hop from one park to the other. The one thing about Disney buses is they can take a little while. So they now have a display at the bus station that says like the estimated time of the next bus to each park. So you have an idea of how long you want to wait, but it's not always accurate. And now in the My Disney Experience app, you can see the wait times for the bus as well. But just, I wouldn't necessarily rely on that because it could come earlier or later, depending on like how far you are away from the bus stop, and you're like, oh, I got 5 minutes, and you get there and the bus is already gone and it says it's going to be another 15 minutes. You don't necessarily want to rely on that, but they try to be as efficient as possible. But when you are relying on Disney transportation, you want to give yourself ample time. So if you have a dining reservation to make, or like a tour or anything that's at a specific time, fast passes, you want to give yourself lots and lots of time. Like I would say double what you think it would take to get there, like 45 minutes, an hour, potentially, because you never know. And we've been, depending on the resort that you're staying at, which I will get in a minute, like it can take a little while. So one big negative that I have to talk about the moderate resorts is because they are so large, they have multiple bus stops all the way around the resort. And for instance, Caribbean Beach used to be my favorite resort, and then I stayed at the Polynesian and I was like, whoa. But at Caribbean Beach, there are different stops at all the like countries of the resort. So if you're staying at the first one, it's always going to stop there, so you're pretty much guaranteed to get on the bus. If you're at like the second last resort, the bus is going to go to as many stops as possible before it's full, and then it'll go to the park. So if there's like 4 stops, say it'll go to 1, 2, 3, now it's full and it's gonna go. The next bus isn't gonna start at 4, it's gonna start at 1. So you could be waiting a while. I remember when we stayed at Port Orleans Riverside, it was a fairly confusing resort, and that was our first time staying there, so we didn't know our way around that well. But we would walk to the main building in the morning, get a coffee, and get on the bus from there, because that was the easiest one, and then we would get off the bus closer to our room at the end of the day. But so that's definitely something to consider. And at a value resort or a deluxe resort, there's one spot to get the bus from, so the likelihood of more buses coming directly to you is higher. The one thing that I don't understand about the deluxe resorts is sometimes you have to share buses with another deluxe resort, and if you're paying like a lot of money to stay at a deluxe resort, I don't think you should have to share a bus. But it works and it's pretty easy. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about the buses. And we went in February 2015, and we found that we were staying at Caribbean Beach, so the problem was compounded, but there were a lot of bus drivers that were being trained, and so it just was not fun trying to get around. It was a bit of a headache, but free transportation, is that not what we're looking for? And then the next mode of transportation is the Skyliner, which is opening in fall of 2019. So I will probably have a video all about the Skyliner once I can experience it for myself, and just like once it's operational and there is a bit more information, because there's not a ton of information out there right now. But the Skyliner goes from Pop Century and Art of Animations to Hollywood Studios and Epcot, and then it also goes from Caribbean Beach and the Riviera Resort to Hollywood Studios and Epcot, and then vice versa. It looks really neat. They are not air conditioned, so if you're afraid of heights, probably wouldn't suggest it. And if you don't want to be like baking in a little car in the sky, wouldn't go on it. So again, I will probably do another video separately on it once I've experienced it for myself, so I can give you guys footage and everything like that. But it looks interesting. Like, it's different. Like, Ethan and I were having a discussion this morning about it, because he was saying, like, why didn't they just build a monorail? And Florida is swampland, so I think that they didn't build more monorail because of the cost of that, but then also now there's another mode of transportation that's like special to staying over here that's different from staying over here, so that they can get people to wanting to stay here and then there. And I don't know, but it's another option that's coming later this year. You can look for pictures online. They have graphics, like the cars themselves, some of them have characters on them. They look really cute, and I can see you being like, oh, I want to go on this one, I want to go on this one, and it just looks interesting, and I'm definitely willing to try it. So I will give you guys more information on that at a later date. And the last method of transportation is walking. So if you're staying at the Contemporary Resort, you can walk to Magic Kingdom, and it takes like 5 minutes. So if you're at Magic Kingdom and you want a reservation at the Contemporary, at like Chef Mickey's California Grill, anything like that, you can easily just walk over, and it doesn't take long, and it's really nice to get out of the park, and then you can always go back in. From the Boardwalk and Beach Club and Yacht Club, you can walk to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. You can get into Epcot through International Gateway, which is the back entrance that's between Canada and England, I'm pretty sure. And you can walk to Hollywood Studios, and it gets you right to the front entrance. From Saratoga Springs Resort, you can walk to Disney Springs. Where else can you walk? Is that it? That might be it. I think there's, like, you can walk between resorts. Like, you can walk from Palm Century to Art of Animation, but in terms of getting to, like, the main parks and to Disney Springs, those are all the ones that you can walk to. So, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you did. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, or have anything to add about Disney World transportation. And I will be back in a different planning related video in a few weeks. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And again, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.